Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, July 29, 2024. They'll have 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have this Wednesday TFCC call. We're going to go into detail about, well, let's put it this way, transfer of knowledge to people about this specific formula that we've been reviewing and using, and it'll revolutionize different aspects of the human body. So that call is for people that want to become educated and knowledgeable, so that they can bring other people on Friday to that call. We got to get this in as many hands as possible. We got to keep people alive until we come out with the celestial chamber. Got to keep them in the body. Can't afford to lose that knowledge that a lot of people are carrying. Most of us believe that we're of this, this physical, material body world, and that's it. How many of us will go within and to our very core essence to discover what we really are, and how many just will not? Which is okay, because we're not, like I keep saying, this isn't a race. And to realize that the greatest opportunity of any lifetime is simply to be here now. When we allow the moment to sink into our bodies, we become complete with this life, and life becomes complete with us. We instantly fall into ourselves again and again and again. And we discover that our deepest, innermost essence was always here. And to connect with it is as simple as passing a rake over the fertile soil, our soul. You simply reach down and touch the dirt. You'll discover the magical core of your being instantly. We're like, every one of us are like pure magic because of what we can do. We're absolute magic. Housed in an organic physical body. And the only thing that's real is the God that we are. Everything that changes is not real. Okay? The gods that we are never change. We are divine perfection already. One might say, well then, what's the sense of experiencing these physical bodies if we're already divine perfection? Because we, the gods that we are, experience and learn and move to higher levels of divine perfection. But understand that everything else is not real. The gods that we are the only thing that's real. So this whole construct, all the universes, all the galaxies, all the star systems are not real. They are created by the only thing that is real, the gods that we are, collectively, as the one. So we imagine this. We're like receptors, and we have so much different experience on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis. All the things. Imagine all the experiences happening right now in this very moment on and inside this planet, because there's life inside it too. In this very moment. Massive amounts of energetic frequencies are taking place. Some of them not too good. Some of them good, and some of them off the charts. And some of them really bad. So it's a combination, all being generated by what? By the gods that we are, by the pure consciousness. Now, if you were to say to somebody, nonchalantly, I might be having a lunch or something, and you say, do you know that the only thing that's real is the gods within us? Everything else is an illusion? How do you believe people would respond to that? It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Kind of like do an independent question or marketing thing like some people do, and then put it on YouTube. Well, I don't know if they would allow it, but it'd be interesting. And to see how many people are receptive to that. Because until we discover that everything out there, all of it is an illusion. And we create it to do what? To experience. That's it, period. All the species, all the civilizations, throughout all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, are experiencing. Now, you've got to have something to experience. We'd be like slugs in mud if we didn't create things to experience. So we do this. This is what we are. We are master creators. All of us. And this is part of the magic that we are. All the happiness, all the joy, all the bliss, all the enthusiasm, all the excitement, long-term peace, prosperity is within us. It isn't outside of us. It never was. But see, we were taught through thousands of years that it is outside of us, that it isn't inside of us. We were taught that you're not powerful. Get over that. That's ego mind. You're not powerful. You're weak. You need to be led. You need to be controlled. You need to be told what to do. So basically, be good little slaves, and everything will be fine. Well, like I've said, I believe that more of us, every single moment, are choosing, on their own volition, to go within and discover who and what they are, and also start not giving their power to anything unless they want to. So it's awareness. Obviously, we would not knowingly give our power to what? Death, destruction, hatred, anger, manipulation, dishonesty. Would we? I don't believe so. I don't think any of us would. If we were aware, we would say, why in the heck would we do that? We want a God planet paradise, and every one of us deserve the best of everything. And there's people that feel guilty about that. See? Why? Well, it's because of their programming. So they feel guilty that no. Not all of us deserve the best of everything. It's too much. But we do. So there's people that are afraid of that. They fear it. They fear, just about everything. So we're in this we've been in this incubation, so to speak. And what is incubation? Well, we kind of know what that is. You sit in a warm place and you develop. Okay? And after you get to a certain stage of development, you remove yourself from incubation. And you move on from there. We've been in an incubation state for quite some time, so that we can turn the corner into much higher frequency, new Earth, and God Planet Paradise. Do you believe that you would have to be in an incubation? Now, does that mean that you know that? Not necessarily. Some people do. This is something that hasn't ever been discussed. We have been in an incubation. That's why a lot of people believe, they kind of go, this isn't, I don't feel right here. This is different, strange. And when you've been in incubation for so long, you're being programmed, okay? But yet, since you've been in incubation, you're able to unravel the programming. This is what's happening. People every day are unraveling this programming because they have come out of incubation and they're progressing at a much higher frequency. Now, that does not mean that some of us aren't handling it well, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody is smooth and cool, but that's okay because eventually we begin to understand or comprehend the fact that we're making this change. Why? Well, because we've experienced all the other stuff through lifetimes. The downs, the destruction, the hatred for ourselves and others. Horrible word, horrible frequency. And then now I believe we have come full circle to the extent of choosing to increase our vibrational frequency. What does that mean? What the heck does that mean? Well, you begin to deeply and eternally love yourself. Every aspect of it. Good, bad, ugly. Right? Genuinely, not superficially, not through the ego mind. And you begin to understand, because of your incubation, you're much more flexible with yourself to understand that, okay, I want to master my ego mind. I no longer care to be its slave. Right? And that's okay. Ego mind's not pissed, right? You embrace it, and you stay out of it. You stay out of the ego mind. And those are the ones who have incubated long enough and come out of incubation to be able to do that. Now, doesn't necessarily mean that they're perfectly clear. You come out of a long sleep, what are you? Groggy, right? And in fact, when you think you're awake, you do some things that you go, I'm still not awake. You ever done that? You ever think you're awake and you're up and you're doing things and you do something and you go, I'm not awake. Not yet. And what this does for us, not to us, but for us, is we begin to expand. We begin to expand our imaginations, our heart-mind consciousness, greatly. First, a little bit, but then it just starts to blossom and expand. We realize that there's a lot more ahead of us, and it isn't boogeyman time. We've gone through the boogeyman times over and over again. And if you notice something, moment to moment, on how you are responding to everything compared to, let's say, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You notice a huge difference? There is. Some of us don't pay attention to it. We just go about things. Others go, wait a minute, this is a lot different than it used to be. I'm looking at things a lot differently. I'm not judging things. I'm learning. I'm constantly reviewing and watching. I'm beginning to understand my ego mind. I'm beginning to understand that it is not my master. Right? I also know that I can use it through my heart mind to have it as my servant rather than me being its servant. I know now that I can leave the mind alone. I can stay in the now whenever I choose. These are huge discoveries. They're not, as you say, a piece of cake. They're not. These are huge discoveries. It has taken us lifetimes, tens of thousands of years of lifetimes, to get to this point. I don't see. There's a lot of people that don't understand that. It's, look back. Look 50 years ago, 60 years ago. Look 100 years ago. Right? Sure, there's always been those of us who were somewhat aware through all of the generations. Okay? Just not enough. Not enough of us. You can go back and listen to broadcasts and presentations of people talking back in the 50s, in the 40s, in the 30s, in the 20s, that people have recorded, put together. And, we had like radio in the 1920s. So you listen to people, and their voices sound different. Their tone quality in their voices, you ever notice that? They're different sounding than what we are now. And we listen to these talks and speeches and everything, and we find commonality because in this, right now, in this moment, there are those of us doing the same thing, doing what we can to wake others up. Right? So we're doing. You're compelled to. It gets real frustrating. You say, I'm not going to even go there with that because I'm expending energy. But the only thing I can do with them is I can send them deep eternal love and just go about my journey. Not all of us are going to transcend to New Earth. That's a given. Okay? We know that. And it isn't a negative. It's just that there are those that are not there yet. They're still in incubation. They aren't there yet. And you begin to realize that. And it's not, you're not going, oh, woe is me. You're saying, okay, that's fine. I understand that. I comprehend it. And we keep moving forward. Now, all the time, even the ones that are asleep teach us. You ever notice that? Yeah. They're teaching us lots of things. But most of us don't take the time to look at what they're teaching us. When you see somebody, I'm sure many of you have, or interacted with somebody that is completely asleep, that they're viewing everything on the surface, right, to them is normal. It's not an issue or anything. And to you, you're going, holy cow, how can they see that? How can they say that about this? I've used the analogy before. 3 of us could be standing on a shoreline. There's vast water out there. And one of us could point and say, you see that boat out there or ship? And the other 2 of us will go, where? Right there, and point right at it. I don't see anything. Have you ever experienced that before? It's not sleight of hand or anything or some mirage. You see a boat or a ship or an object out there, you know you see it. But the others with you don't see it. That's the same thing that's going on now with us. Some of us see it, some of us don't. There's no way that you're going to get the others who don't see it to see it. They will on their own discovery, not on yours. So what happens with this? Well, you can see that the vibrational frequencies are continuing to ascend, to rise, to become more and more and more. As we practice it more and more, and we practice staying and being in the now more and more, this is how we master things. This is how we master our thoughts. This is how we master our ego. It's the only way to do it. There's no other way. And this is a very unobtrusive, simple process. These meditations, global guided meditation calls, are not obstructive at all. You seat yourself in a comfortable position with no interruptions. You then begin to focus on your breath. You relax into the body, and you're in the now. That's it. You're still as a statue. But see, there's a little tapping on your window, right? And you go, what is that? It's the ego mind saying, come out of there. Don't stay in there. Come out here. It's a lot more fun going into yesterday and tomorrow. It's a lot more exciting than being in the now. And we get that. But we start to realize is that the only place to be is the now. Doesn't it make sense that the only way you're going to master your ego mind, which is an illusion, and your thoughts, is through the now? You're not messing with the mind in the now. You can watch everything. You can watch the mind operate and send all these thoughts in, right? And look at all these other people's thoughts that are flooding in. You realize that you can pick and choose. From the now, you can pick and choose because your awareness is very high. See, imagine you've been taught so many times that you got to get going, doing, getting, going, and doing. And it's almost an obsession because we're so conditioned with it that we feel guilty by not doing that. You ever done that? You say, you know what, I'm going to chill out for the day and I'm not going to do anything. Do you feel guilty about it? Somewhere along the line, does it kind of seep in? It's the ego mind that's got this busy agenda. It's not you. We can attract anything we choose to attract through our awareness and through the heart, mind, and the now. Peace would descend upon this planet totally, saturating it. How? By everyone being in the now. There'd be no arguments, no confrontations. There would be no hatred, no disruption, no deviance. Period. By being in the now. And this is what's being mastered now. This is what many of us are starting to do, is to go and practice being in the now. We're not selling it, trying to convince people of it. We're doing it for ourselves. Because we have chosen, for what? What have we chosen? We have chosen to be in the now and to be able to manifest anything we desire. And we're creating a God-planet paradise to experience. That's what it's all about. This God-planet paradise on this planet, right, as we transcend, is about experiencing it. Now we haven't experienced it through thousands of lifetimes. So now we've decided it's time that we start experiencing what a God-planet paradise is like. We could be in there for the next, 100 million years. Who knows? But we have that power to pick and choose. You have the power to pick and choose. You're not judging through the ego mind or ridiculing, or you're not in fear. You're in the now. And you ask yourself, what is so wonderful about this very moment I'm in? What is so magical about it? Well, you don't have all that crap that you do when you're in the ego mind. None of it's there. Motivation should be really high to stay there. You've had a lot of rodeos on the other side. It's not like you're a babe in the woods. You know, through your own decision making, I'm not going there anymore. It's not avoiding it. You're not avoiding it. In other words, you can swim in it, dip in it, and float in it, and it's not going to have the same influence over you. You're in command before it was in command. You begin to know yourself. That's huge. Knowing ourselves. How are we going to know anything or anyone else unless we know ourselves? Not enough time to do that, though. I've had people say that. I don't have any time. I got too much going on. I don't have time to sit and meditate. You nuts? I got this to do, that to do, this to do, that to do. Okay? Where has that taken you? Where has it taken any of us over the last million years? Not really much of place anywhere. So we've done that. We understand that. Our natural state of being is in joy, happiness, peace, tranquility, great abundance, and prosperity. That's our natural state of being. Now, when there are other frequencies that want to make sure that you never discover that, how do you do it? Well, you come into birth into a baby body, right? Before you get there, you're electronically zapped, so you have no memory of past life. This is how you do it. This is how it's created. And the same thing happens when you leave. So you're a blank vessel. You have no clue about anything. You're in a daze. This is how it's all kept in a circle. Reincarnate, have a life, no memory. Reincarnate, have a life, no memory. Does that make any sense to anybody? It doesn't. What is shifting about that? Well, we're really realizing that there's certain things that you discover along your journey. We all do. And one is, we've all heard the stories that when we leave the body, right, there's certain things that need to be done. What's that? Well, make sure you get rid of that body I was in, that I leave, after 72 hours of me not being in it. Get rid of it. Burn it. Don't put it in the ground. Okay? And then number two, I'm not going to come back to that body. It's over. That life's over. And number three, I'm not going into the light. I'm not going into the light. Why aren't you going into the light? Everybody goes into the light. No, I am the light. Why would I go into a light that's chasing me? And then throws me into another matrix on the astral plane that seduces me into wanting to reincarnate again. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. See, you should be able, all of us, as the gods that we are, pick and choose. Seriously, pick and choose. Now, we don't know how things will unfold in the beginning. Really, who cares? Our main purpose is to experience. And not be fixated on physical material. To shift gears and say, well, I'm only temporarily in this body, so I'm going to enjoy the life that I have right now every moment I can. I'm not going to project. I'm not going to plan. Right? I'm not going to assume. I'm not going to supposize. I'm not going to have huge expectations and attachments. I'm going to float in this life. I'm going to enjoy it. And instead, most of us worry, stress, and fear about it. Think about it. That's what we do. We worry, stress, and fear about life. And we fight it all along the way till we leave the body. Then we reflect back and go, man, why did I spent most of my life worry, stressing, and fearing in that body, and I wanted to do all these other things, and now I'm out of the body. You don't think that happens? It happens. And what are the things? Ego, mind, base. That's it. Ego, mind, base. That's what it is. But when you begin to realize that, hey, I'm the master and commander. I don't care to be an ego mind. I really don't. I know what it's like. I've been there enough. I want to be in heart mind. I'm not interested in having a lot of money. I'm interested in serving others. By serving others, you'll have all the money you'll ever need. And then some. Giving to get is old earth. It's not new earth. And there's a distinct difference between old earth and new earth. Huge, okay? Right now, every one of us have the power to create anything we choose. Right in this very moment. With no doubts, with no lack of faith, and no lack of confidence. It's like, boom, we have it. We've always had it, and we always will have it. Now, what's the interruption that stops us, blocks us? Well, ourselves, but in actuality, it's the ego mind, the doubt, the fear, the insecurity, the confidence is low, the faith is low, the trust is low. Why should I trust? See, you're trusting yourself. So you're saying, why should I trust myself? Nobody else does. Nobody else trusts themselves. We've become so skeptical. Have you noticed? As a species, a civilization, we have become so skeptical that even looking a gift horse in the mouth, we would find fault with it. Right in this very moment, we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust anybody else. We don't have confidence in ourselves. We don't have confidence in anybody else or anything. We don't have faith in ourselves. We don't have faith in anything else. Always doubting, right? Worrying, stressing, and fearing. To certain levels, and it's not always bam in your face. It's subtle at times. We have fun. We enjoy life to certain areas and certain avenues. But we always have this dauntingness behind us. You ever feel it? Heaviness. It says you can have some fun now, but it's not going to last. You got to get back to this, the seriousness of life. And again, that's our choice. You think that we enter this life to be serious about it? You got to be serious. You're an adult now. You got to take care of things. You got to do this and that. Well, that's pretty much understood across the board. But you ever notice when you're happy or you're having fun, that a lot of that stuff that clogs us up isn't there. When you're happy, are you thinking about anything negative? No, you're not. When you feel joy, for no reason whatsoever, are you saying, oh boy, over here? No, you're not. It's not even existence. And we all have this. It's really funny. You know, in the material physical world, people will look at other people and say, oh, I couldn't do that. Wow, look at that. And yes, you can. You just don't believe or trust or have faith that you can, so you won't. And other people that are teaching you that you can. Doesn't mean necessarily that that gig's for you, but it's teaching you that you don't have any limitations. None of us do. We never did. Do you believe that we as gods in these bodies have ever had limitations or believe that we did or do? No. Where does that come from? Where do limitations come from for all of us on this planet? It's the programming. Generation after generation. Your parents believed a certain way. All right? And their parents believed a certain way that taught them that certain way. They taught you that certain way. You taught your kids that certain way, and those kids are teaching their kids that certain way. This is why we've always been caught in this circle jerk on planet Earth. because everybody is teaching everybody else other people's thoughts that end up in a dead end. Rather than some of us, which is happening now, are jumping ship saying, hey, I got my life preserver, I'm a black sheep, and I'm embracing every moment of it. You're not advertising. You just decide, hey, you imagine yourself during the quiet time of this meditation, and you look around. You're in the now, and you're watching. Remember, you're not in it. You're watching. And you see all these people, right? And they're not looking right. They're not looking left. They're just focused forward, and they're all scurrying. And it's so packed that there's no room to leap or anything. They're all shuffling really fast. Their feet are moving really fast. And they're oblivious to anything around them, and they're just going forward. And you try to ask them, grab somebody and say, where are you going? They just pull away and keep going. That's the rat race. That's what it is. Because why they call it the rat race is if you see a colony of rats, you'll see it looks very similar. Scurrying around, doing this, doing that, getting this, getting that, and all going somewhere, and they don't know where. Isn't that wild? So you picture that, and you're watching it. And you watch it, you learn. And you say, you know what? I'm not interested in that. Huge epiphany, huge awakening for people. And they start to say to themselves, they're not judging it, okay? The others, okay, that's their gig, that's fine. I decide I'm not going to do that anymore. Period. I don't have to announce it to anybody, make a big deal out of it. I've decided not to do that anymore. I'm stepping out. And as you watch, okay, every now and then you see someone step out. And then you start seeing them look around. And they look back and they look at the scurriers, right? And they shake their head and they start walking away. They woke up. This is what's happening. Okay? You see this depiction and this analogy of the rat race and how many of us have been in it for generation after generation. But some of us, right in this now, even in this very moment, there are those of us who are stepping out of it permanently. There is no interest in going back into it at all. Period. Done. No anger, no revenge feeling or anything. Just, I'm out of here. I'm out of this. So then what do you do? Well, then you're starting to say, I am not interested in having the ego mind manage me or supervise me or control me. I'm going to start doing it with it, so you do the meditation. That's what this meditation is for. It's to skyrocket and catapult us. First of all, we go out of the rat race, and we walk forward, and then we start discovering things about ourselves, not as judgment, but as discoveries, awakenings. You start saying, I know I'm not this body, but this body I'm really grateful for because it allows me to experience what I've created as a God around me. Everything, remember. The steering wheel of the vehicle that you're traveling in. You had something to do with creating that. The combustible engine, all of that stuff. You had something to do with creating it. Remember that. It is not separate. We are not separate. We are one. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out.
Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out through the mouth. Remain still as a statue. Focus on your breath rising and falling.
It is your choice when you let go, not if you can. Making the decision to let go of your problems is 90% of the battle. Making a choice means releasing the past and move forward with life. Letting go is a natural part of life. It is the initiating key in the enlightenment process. It starts when you stop judging yourself and your life and begin to merge with the experience of the whole thing. Make that decision today to let go of any indecisiveness and move forward with confidence that you can choose to take a baby step today towards letting go of your judgment on your life and enjoying the experience more often. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, the following morning. And we will return here Tuesday, July 29, actually 30th, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening outside of you or inside of you. Open your heart and let the magic flow in.